Group of people here in Merrittstown at the crossroads. There are also groups like this at the top of the hill by the church, down by the post office, and on every porch and veranda all the way up and down the parade route. It's just it's a community gathering. It's a big event every year here in Merrittstown.
And TJ, for a small community, we certainly draw a lot of groups from outside of Merrittstown. We have the group of the Military Order of the Purple Hearts from Connellsville and other groups that you'll see here today that come from all around just to join us in our parade here today.
Next is the Honor Guard from North Union Township. Next we have the commander of the Catholic War Veterans of Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
And also the Ladies Auxiliary from the same organization.
Tim, next we have the Vietnam veteran vets marching down. It's good to have them back. They're a part of the parade here the last couple of years. You know, Tim, during the pre-parade festivities here at the mini park, we had the national anthem sung by Michelle Contour. Michelle is a 2000 graduate of Brownsville Area High School, and she's going to West Virginia University on music scholarship. We'd like to thank Michelle, who did an outstanding job.
She has a beautiful voice.
Again, the Vietnam vets. Next we have the POW MIA truck.
And TJ, we can see here coming up is Katie Savini, the parade marshal this year. Katie's been involved in the parade for, what, 22 years now?
Right, Tim. Right before them, we have the Disabled American Veterans, the Ladies Auxiliary out of Uniontown, PA.
And there's Katie.
Katie Savini, our 2000 parade marshal.
Katie is dressed up as Raggedy Ann for most of those 22 years, and she's enjoyed tossing candy to the kids for all those years, too.
Next comes our I want to say kaleidoscope. Timmy, am I right?
I think it's a calliope.
Calliope, okay. From Bratton's. Bratton's has been a part of this parade for an awful lot of years. Fayette County Commissioner Vince Vacides with his son and Art Capella. Next we have Bobby Shoo Shumar in a 1952 MG. That's Bobby's son, and I'm not sure who the young girl is, but it must be a granddaughter.
And next to the 1948 Chevrolet Coupe is Terry Katsko. Looks like a candy apple red.
These are the cars provided by Jerry Leone. He lines everybody up and brings everybody here. And at this time, I'd like to say a little sad thanks. We were supposed to have Jerry Fortney here today, driving his granddaughter Jennifer and daughter Jennifer, and son-in-law Freddie Gajani. Fred Gajani's been part of the parade for years, and Jerry was going to drive Freddie and his daughter and daughter-in-law, his daughter here today. Freddie, unfortunately, was in an accident and died over the weekend, and we'll miss him, and we just like to say our thanks and our prayers for Jerry.
And TJ, we just had a 71 Chevelle Super Sport driven by Joe Raffo and his sons, and a 1963 T-Bird from Mark Logston. And also a 1975 Mercury, and it goes back a few years, not quite antique, but nevertheless it's in the parade.
There's the 1930 Model A Ford two-door sedan driven by Albert and Marie Smith.
And a 1947 Plymouth, that's Pete Glisson.
Next we have a 2001 PT Cruiser driven by Jim Geisel.
And another PT Cruiser by Bob Slusser. Here's a nice old car.
Oh, that's Albert Workman in a 1930 Model A Ford two-door.
And a 1973 Ford Explorer, it's Francis Bear. He's got a group in the back. Friends and family, I'm sure.
Here comes Buddy Johnson in a 1984 Chrysler LeBaron convertible.
And a Chevelle convertible. That's Bill Turner, proud owner.
In a 1953 Ford hardtop driven by John Kraft.
And this 1959 Ford convertible is John Masico.
And right after him comes a 1951 Ford retractable hardtop driven by Shirley Masico.
That's a beautiful car.
Next comes a 1966 El Camino driven by Joe Noakes.
And behind Joe in a 1963 Chevy Nova is Richard Milan.
And then a 1968 El Camino Ss396 driven by Frank Gadd.
And a 1965 Ford Galaxy convertible driven by Tom Milan Jr. The Milan family has a few cars in here, I can see, TJ.
Well, they sure do. Looks like there's 3 or 4 of them here, Tim. Then we have a 1955 Ford Fairlane driven by Lisa and John Milan.
And a 1955 Ford Victoria driven by Tom Milan Sr.
And right after that's coming a 1936 Plymouth sedan driven by Charles Sparrow.
And appears to be a Ford Mustang convertible. It's Swift Auto Sales.
The candy's always a hit here with the kids. They bring bags and wait for it, Tim. Next we have a 1956 Chevrolet driven by Michael Stieber.
And a 1979 Corvette Larry
Pasquale. That's
Pasquale,
Larry Pasquale,
yes.
Tim. Kids of America, Miss Baby Beautiful, Maria Martin in that car there, Tim.
She's adorable. And we have a Bill Harrington. Well, it's
Ed
yes.
Seabrook in Bill Harrington in
Yes.
a 1951 Nash.
You don't see many of those around. And TJ, this last antique car, it's quite old. I don't have a read on this one, but...
Well, our list ran out, Tim. Our runner hasn't come with a list. It's an old, it's an antique, and it's the last one. And we'd like to thank the cars. It was a 1925 Packard driven by Skip Seaton.
I see most of these cards and people in the parade going past. They'll end up down at the Merrittstown Post Office, and we'd like to thank Lee Higginbotham and his family. They coordinate all the efforts down at the end of the parade route. And TJ, the Redstone Township Supervisors, they play a great part in helping every year to get this thing off to a good start and make sure that we have everything we need to make this thing run smoothly. It's Larry Williams, Ralph Rice, and Ray Paris, and they do a fantastic job for our community.
They're just a super group, Tim, and we'd also like to thank again the Luzerne Township Supervisors for their help and for their police department that comes over and helps every year.
And also the Redstone Township Police Department.
Right.
That's Dennis Fields and Roy Mahalik, and also the Auxiliary Police.
Okay, we had a little break there. I guess we have a few more cars. That wasn't the last one. We have a 1955 Chevy Bel Air driven by Johnny Antoon.
And well, wait a little bit so you can see the car actually come onto camera.
You know, Tim, they call it the biggest little parade in America. It's for a community of this size. The amount of participation is just unbelievable. It just goes to show you how everybody working together can pull off something like this.
And TJ, these cars, I mean, they're not just from the community, they're from around the whole area. And there's a lot of participation that takes place and a lot of camaraderie, I guess, with the antique car drivers themselves. And next we have a 1971 Malibu driven by Bill Roos.
And a 1954 Pontiac driven by Debbie Seaton.
And we have a 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner driven by Ira Seaton.
Comes a 1963 Chevy Impala driven by Bill Craniac.
And here comes one of the original SUVs. It's a Chevy Suburban 1967. That's Kirk Newman.
Next we have a 1952 Chevy pickup driven by Ed Milan.
Next, TJ, this is one of my favorite antique cars. It's a 1956 Chevy Bel Air, and that's Sam Corella driving it.
Next we have a 1971 Nova driven by Eugene Epperjesse. And here comes the gentleman responsible for organizing these antique cars in a 1952 Chevy convertible. It's blue, it's driven by Jerry Leone. Jerry, we got to thank you again. Without your help, we wouldn't have the antique cars.
And behind Jerry is a 1930 Ford Coupe driven by Robert Smithy Sr.
And then a 1950 Chevy Coupe driven by Robert Smith Jr.
Once again, we have a lot of participation by families who are in the antique car collecting and restoration, I see. Well, that certainly looks like a Model T. We don't have a name for who's driving this vehicle, but a beautiful old antique car. And the kids really enjoyed also being able to participate.
That was a 1951 Chevy Deluxe Coupe driven by Dave Dahl.
And that might have been the Model A touring car, 1928. Francis McDuffett.
They're wishing a happy 50th to Rose and Vic. Whoever Rose and Vic are, happy 50th.
Sam and Russ Miller, I believe, were in that 1930 Ford Coupe that was prior to the 28 Model A. We may have been a little bit out of order on that.
We've got a 1967 Coupe Deville driven by Ted Sobeck next to him.
And coming up in a black El Camino is Stanley Sobeck. It's a 1972 model. TJ, there's another group that really plays a big part in making sure this parade goes off every year, and that's the Republic Volunteer Fire Company.
Yeah, Tim, they've got guys down there like Rich Broski, Footy Balone, Mark Magazine, Kevin Walensky, Jimmy Basher, and Joe Kelly, just to name a few. But those guys put the fireworks off. They line up all the fire departments, all the ambulances, all the EMS trucks that come through here. They help organize the parade, set the parade up. They help up on top of the hill, keeping everybody organized. Just a great bunch of guys. I wish I had all their names to mention them, but they're a major part of this parade. They do the golf tournament with the villagers every year, and we'd like to give our sincere thanks and appreciation to the Republic Volunteer Fire Department. Next we have a 1928 Model A Deluxe Roadster driven by Vaughn McDiffett.
And now we have a red Plymouth Duster, 1974, driven by Randy Pellick.
Next is a 1995 Mustang GT convertible driven by Michelle Schumar. We're off? Okay.
The next vehicle is a Ford Extended Cab 4x4.
We're not on.
Driven by Scott Furlong, it's 1991. Here's our Senator Rick Kucinich.
And Register of Wills Don Redmond.
And next we have the Redstone Township Supervisors.
Larry Williams, Ralph Rice, and Ray Paris. Tim, looks like the Brownsville area senior high school band coming down here. They're under the direction of Mr. Brian Bahari.
TJ, one of those drummers in the band looks pretty familiar.
Yeah, that drummer is my son, Chris Lacostick, and the head drum major leading the band there is Missy Marietta. Here comes Mrs. Gankus. Mrs. Gankus is an original Merrittstown villager. This is her 32nd consecutive parade. She's one of the founders of the parade along with Aunt Helen, and we're glad to have her back. She's recently moved away, but came back specially for the parade. Welcome back, Mrs. Gankus.
And next we have the Fayette County Sheriff's Tactical Search and Rescue Team.
Looks like the Fayette County Sheriff, Gary Brownfield there, Tim.
And on horseback, we have Stephanie Schumar. And there's a few familiar faces. Margaret Ann Lacostick Erda, Cindy Lacostick Galani, and that's also the Merrittstown Villagers.
Here comes the Boy Scout troop that helped with the opening ceremonies here at the mini park.
I would be remiss, TJ, if I didn't mention that Kim Lacostick, who was one of the fireworks traveling here passing out candy to the kids.
As you'll see, there are many different members of the parade. If you want to dress up a mini bike, put your son or daughter on it, a bicycle, enter them into the parade, you're more than welcome to do so. If you want to enter next year's parade, again, contact Chuck Lacostick here in Merrittstown, and you're more than welcome. We'll be glad to have you for the 35th Merrittstown Parade next year.
If you have a little toddler or newborn or something, you want to put them in a baby carriage, decorate it, come on down and you could show off your new.
Music too loud or not loud enough? You okay? You hear music?
Next is the Brownsville Historical Society.
And we have the Cox Donahue Elementary School cheerleaders. They're the Central Rams. Those are actually the Central Rams from Brownsville.
Next we have the River Valley chapter of Abate. Tim, I hope all of our viewers can see we've got a really young crowd here in participating in our parade. We like to see the spirit of patriotism kept alive by all these young kids. It's great to see it happening here in Merrittstown, Pennsylvania.
And some of our participants here, we don't have all their names, but they take part every year as a group on the motorcycles. One very interesting motorcycle's got a V8 engine in it, the red one. TJ, most of these kids, they just, they're participating in the parade because they have a little vehicle or something they want to drive, and they just contact Chuck and Koster and they get themselves a place in the parade. There's a little go-kart. Quite decorated here for the 4th. Who's these little leaguers we have coming up here, Tim?
Tim, they're the Allison number 2 Little League champs from Allison, PA, right over the hill here from Merrittstown. They're the 2000 Little League champs, and they went undefeated this year.
And behind them is the Luzerne South Pony League champs.
Tim, next come the Filbert Alligators. They're the T-ball team, one of the Filbert T-ball teams, on a truck donated by Joe's Body Shop.
Looks like we have a mine repair truck from Schumar's Welding. Big semi with looks to be a mine truck on the back of it.
Tim, that truck is sponsored by Mr. Eli Schumar. He's down in the crowd here right below us. Eli is a major supporter and always has been of the Merrittstown 4th of July parade. We again would like to thank Eli for all his help and contribution to make our parade a big success. I see Eli and Betty both down there waving at the truck.
Now, TJ, we have quite a few fire and ambulance trucks coming behind us, police cars and so forth, and the participation that we get from around the area is outstanding. We'll see trucks from several miles away that are coming here today, and it's going to get quite loud here as well.
Again, this is the lead truck from the Republic Volunteer Fire Department with Bill Snyder up on the top there. Bill's the principal out of Brownsville area. We'd like to thank Republic Volunteer Fire Department because they organize all the fire trucks and special services trucks and the EMS trucks and the ambulance that you're going to see here for the next couple of minutes. It's a huge job. It's a huge undertaking. They organize it. They get them to come here. They organize it at the top of the hill. And we really appreciate all the help that Republic Volunteer Fire Department give to the community here.
Also have Fayette County EMS.
I'm looking at my watch, and you can see this parade's been going on for 45 minutes now. It's a little community, but it's a huge parade. We appreciate everyone who has shown up, the participants, the people who came to watch, the people who have donated, the people who have helped. We hope to see them all back next year. Hope to have more back next year. And again, if you want to be a part of this parade next year, like Tim said, if you want to decorate a stroller, decorate a bike, decorate a quad, give Chuck LaCoste in Merrittstown a call, and he'll make you a part of the 35th annual 4th of July parade here in Merrittstown in the year 2001.
TJ, looks like Chuck's just joined us in the booth here, and we got Chuck to say a little bit about the parade. You know, Chuck, we kiddingly call him the mayor of Merrittstown, but Chuck does a great job every year. The organizational effort that takes place behind the scenes to pull this off starts well back at the beginning of the year. Coordinate all the groups that take part, as well as Chuck does a marvelous job of just people that help him out, just getting them to put together the different ends of this parade that come together today.
Hey Tim, thank you very much. Really appreciate the intro. Kind of behind the scenes all morning so far, and really haven't had the opportunity to look at the parade itself, but everything appears to be going pretty well, T, huh?
Well, we've been fortunate. The rains have held up. It started to sprinkle a little bit at the beginning of the ceremonies here at the mini park, but Mrs. Gankus walked up and said, Aunt Helen closed the clouds for us. She looked down on us and kept the rain away. So we're going to have another rain-free parade, and again, we'd like to thank everybody for watching the parade. Hope you folks on TV are enjoying it, and hopefully next year you'll be able to come out and see the parade firsthand.
Yeah, we were a little nervous about the weather at first. Looked like it was going to rain, and right as the opening ceremony was about to begin, we had a few sprinkles, but it cleared up. The rain from yesterday was a little bit of a problem. We usually like to park all the vehicles on the Frank Peterson's property up on top of the hill. He's so kind every year to allow us to use his property to park all the antique cars, fire trucks, large vehicles. He also allows us to use his property to put the fireworks off. But we went up there this morning to take a look at the field, and it was real soggy, so we were worried about what kind of problems that may present. But it all worked out. We parked some vehicles down at the FGA in Republic, and everything seemed to work out. But
Union Fire Department going here next to us. The fire departments have come here from Fayette City, from North Union, from South Union, from all over Uniontown, Grindstone, Allison. It's just a tremendous job that the Republic Volunteer Fire Department has done to pull this together and bring all these units here. Here comes Engine 1 from West Leicester.
Hey T, not only do the Republic Volunteer Fire Department contact all these other fire departments to participate, they also sponsor trophies, and they actually pick the best units, and they do that every year. I mean, that's something they do on their own. They support themselves, and we really appreciate all the help the Republic Volunteer Fire Department give us. They're an excellent bunch of guys. Miss my buddy Jimmy Bashar, who's vacationing down at Myrtle Beach. Wish he would come back so I can win some money off him golfing. But no, we're having a great time down here today.
Here goes the Hopwood Volunteer Fire Department. Here comes South Brownsville.
Hey T, we get volunteer fire departments from everywhere. Like you said, they're stretched out all over the place. I also want to make a comment, T. I know everybody saw in the opening ceremony, Michelle Connor did an excellent job singing the national anthem.
Yeah, Michelle is again, as I mentioned before, is a 2000 graduate of Brownsville Area High School. She was the drum major in the band. Michelle received a music scholarship to West Virginia University. We wish her well and look forward to a lot of great things from Michelle. Again, thanks, Michelle.
Yeah, she did a fantastic job. We really appreciate having her.
There goes South Brownsville.
Hey, there's Betty Ritz. Betty Ritz. Come here, Betty Ritz. Betty Ritz does all our collecting for us. She does a fantastic job. How you doing, Betty, on collecting?
Are you talking on the radio?
Yeah, we're on TV. Come on, Betty. Now, Betty Ritz does all our collecting for us. I tell you, we have a couple of major fundraisers. The main one is our golf outing every year. Next year will be our 6th annual golf outing. Always have it on the last Saturday of April at Carmichael's Golf Course. That is in conjunction with the Republic Volunteer Fire Department. They we raise enough money to cover the parade and the fireworks. The collections that Betty does, Betty handles all the collections up in this area. Mark and Julia also does down near the post office. And we also do a luminary display. So that's the main cost is of the parade is the fireworks, luminary display, Christmas, and the other parade ventures that we do. So everything works out pretty well. We have a lot of local people contribute, and we really appreciate their help and support. Hey, T, here comes Roscoe Fire Company. It's amazing where these guys come from.
Roscoe and Smock's coming after them. Just a tremendous showing of the volunteer fire units here in Fayette County. They all show up for this great little parade.
Hey, T, speaking of Smock, makes me think of Uncle Mike. It's his and Aunt Helen's. We'll say a little hello to Uncle Mike and Aunt Helen. It's their 60th wedding anniversary.
That's Mike and
up.
Helen Costick and Smock BA. Happy 60th wedding anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Uncle Mike and Aunt Helen.
Here comes New Salem.
Hey, T, I'm going to turn this mic back over to Timmy so I can close up some events. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Charlie. Good talking to you. And if you folks notice, these fire departments don't put one truck in. They put 2, 3, 4. They put just amazing what they put on here. The volunteer efforts by these men is just tremendous. We'd like to thank them all. Comes the Farmington Volunteer Fire Department. Great job they do up there in Farmington. Again, you folks notice the crowd here at the Merrittstown Crossroads. There's a crowd like this down at the post office toward the end of the parade. There's a crowd like this at the beginning at the stone church on top of the hill. You know, on every porch up and down Merrittstown, you'll see a crowd of people getting ready for barbecues, having a fun family day. It's just a tremendous family fun day here in Merrittstown. There's Washington Township Volunteer Fire Department.
TJ, I haven't been keeping track, but this has to be, we're up to about 50 cars and trucks now with the ambulances and fire trucks.
Car Garofolo's normally here with his reenactment, Gettysburg Civil War reenactment group, but I think Carl this year is on assignment over in Gettysburg, and we miss him. And hopefully Carl and his group will be back here next year.
We had two of his.
Here comes the Hiller Volunteer Fire Department.
And the Humvee is the U.S. Army Reserves. Brownsville #1 with a couple of their fire trucks here today.
Tim, there's 5 or 6 trucks here from Brownsville and Hiller. It's just amazing. All these guys, you know, these trucks have 4, 5, 6 people on them. The kids enjoy them. It's great to see all these people turn out for the parade.
There's a future firefighter right there. Truck from Ada.
You know, I'd like to take a minute here, too, to thank my partner, Tim. If you're fortunate enough to be here at the parade, you'll see a beautiful color brochure with a picture of the participants of the first parade back in 1967, and the program of today's parade on the inside. Those were done by Badzik Printing, which is owned by Tim and donated here to the Merrittstown Villagers. Again, thanks, Tim, for your support of the parade.
You're welcome, TJ. I wouldn't do it without being part of the parade every year. trucks.
Here comes the Isabella, engine number 1. Comes the Footdale Volunteer Fire Department, followed by another truck from Allison. And folks, there's one main person we've got to thank too. Without his support and without his help, you wouldn't be watching this right now. We'd like to thank Eric Zakovic from HSTV for providing you and providing us with the televising of this parade here in Fayette County. Eric, thanks. Here comes Allison, number 2 Volunteer Fire Department.
With their mascot aboard.
Tim, that looks like we're about winding down. We'd like to thank all the participants here this year for the 34th annual Merrittstown 4th of July Parade, the 34th consecutive 4th of July Parade. Thank everyone who showed up. I hope you folks on TV enjoyed watching it. And next year, come on out, enjoy the parade. And again, if you want to enter someone into the parade next year, give Chuck Lacoste a call. Give him a call here at Merrittstown. His name is in the phone book. Give Chuck a call and he'll make sure that you can be a part of the 35th parade next year in the year 2001.
And TJ, you said it earlier, but the patriotism is alive and well in Merrittstown and all over Fayette County. And today was just a great display of patriotism, which we have been hearing on the radio this morning that there's a lack of patriotism in our community, and we certainly saw a great display of that today.
Tim, they were young, they were here as families, and that's what it's all about. Young people with families bringing their kids here, sharing patriotism, sharing this together with everyone here in Merrittstown. And again, thank you for coming to Merrittstown for the 34th annual Merrittstown 4th of July Parade.
That was nice, man. Good job. Appreciate it.